So I look at people that critique as weak. Weak rhymes with critique. So, if you're going to critique like, hey, this is never going to work or whatever, then I just say, you know what, let's see you try it, and then we'll see how you do. So go ahead and critique away, because all it does is make me stronger. If you guys think you're going to knock me down or make me fail, do you know who you're dealing with? Do you really know? Do you have any idea who you're dealing with?
Was anyone else expecting him to finish it off with the classic,
I am the one who knocks?
So for those of you who don't know, Butch Hartman is the creator of several popular Nickelodeon shows such as Fairly Odd Parents and Danny Phantom, but has since branched out to making videos on YouTube under a channel sharing the same name, his name. He has around 500,000 subscribers and tends to post videos that relate to his shows or the history of his own career, and as far as YouTube goes, his channel is definitely average in terms of quality. He posted quite a bit of fairly standard content, but in my opinion, he never put up anything that wasn't just to leech off his own prior success, which is only made more apparent by his obnoxious clickbaiting. To be honest, most of the novelty around his channel was derived from the fact that he created his fans' childhoods by having made his various TV shows. Needless to say, it was only a matter of time before someone called him out. And as much as I hate to say it, Loser Mark beat me and the rest of YouTube to the punch on this one, and I guess it's fitting that I'd end off the hate train by discussing the straw that broke the camel's back and ultimately turned Butch's fans against him. And to be clear, I didn't have very strong feelings towards Butch before this whole thing broke out, and these lukewarm feelings have been immortalized in my first subscriber channel review when I addressed Mark's video on Butch directly. I've followed Butch Hartman's channel for quite a while now, and I agree with, again, he said dislike. He didn't say hate. Now, since I'm about as late to this party as I can be, I have a fairly complete story of the drama. From what I can tell, it all started when he appeared in a Kickstarter project for a service called Oaxis, which basically advertised itself as a hodgepodge of Netflix and YouTube, but with the added bonus of being entirely kid-friendly. If you can, call that a bonus. Aside from the fact that the project didn't seem suitable for a number of reasons, Butch appeared to have invested himself in it beyond the point of being the spokesman for the video. Even the reward tiers were structured around him rather than the project. As time went on, more information came out about Oaxis that only soured things further. It was discovered that it was going to be a religious thing, in some way at least, and since that wasn't how it was marketed, the patrons were justifiably upset. And since Butch was the focus of things, it's not at all surprising that the blame ended up falling directly on him. Oh, and to make things worse, Butch isn't offering any refunds for the Kickstarter, and is removing comments on the page that criticize him for it. At least, I think it's him. No proof though, but take it with a grain of salt. But these takedowns have also carried over to YouTube as well, because nearly every video that addresses the issues surrounding him is being taken down via Content ID claims. Most people have stuck to pitch shifting his voice and stuff, but I have every right to talk about him using his normal footage, so when this video inevitably goes down for copyright, I'm going to refute the claim. This in itself, however, was only the catalyst for the drama, since Butch didn't exactly take the criticism well. He went on to antagonize those who disagreed with him in several instances.
So go ahead and critique away, because all it does is make me stronger. If you guys think you're going to knock me down or make me fail, do you know who you're dealing with?
Who is it you think you see?
So Butch, if you're a pilot and I walked past your plane and saw this, should I not tell you then because I'm not a pilot too? Whether someone can do something better than you is irrelevant if their concerns are warranted. And since you've been completely secretive about so many aspects of this network and you're asking for other people's money, you have no right not to be completely transparent in this situation. And if all this criticism finally makes you own up to the things that you've tried to get away with hiding, then it will be entirely justified. This is so utterly immature that I can't even rationalize how big of an ego you must have to think like this. It also didn't help that when streaming, he said a lot of sketchy things that made him out to be even worse than he already looked in the situation.
Someone says, what do I think of the Oaxis Family Guy meme? Oh, I'm not even going to look at it, and I don't care. Whenever you put yourself out there to do anything, there's always someone that's going to try and bring you down because they've never done anything on their own. And so if someone wants to do something and they want to ask me questions like that, that's one thing. But if someone doesn't do anything and they want to criticize, then I have no time for them.
But I'm going to pose a question that I don't think anyone else has in this situation, especially within the drama and commentary communities. That being, why do we care? Consider what would happen if the making fun of haters comments and everything else was just happening to any other YouTuber. Specifically, a YouTuber with a less than spotless reputation. If it were going on with, say, Logan Paul, Keemstar, or even someone who isn't infamous, there wouldn't have been the same level of backlash. The behavior definitely wouldn't be brushed off, but it certainly wouldn't be this newsworthy. And the reason as to why the effect was much more severe in Butch's case is simply because of how he portrayed himself. Butch was able to get away with the clickbaiting and other shenanigans because he depicted himself as a larger-than-life figure who had a hand in your childhood. Almost as if he was this superior dad figure. Fans put up with things because he portrayed himself as superior with a celebrity-like status. Other YouTubers tried to do this as well, calling back to the Paul brothers, but unlike them, Butch was able to keep it up because many felt that he was actually deserving of it. The Pauls could dance around acting higher than everybody, but Butch had actually accomplished enough in his life that people tended to actually think highly of him. And the fact that these accomplishments were deeply rooted in his fans' lives only made this feeling of admiration greater. But, by acting like this, Butch unknowingly doomed himself. Because just like a dad, his fans tended to brush off a lot, but if he ever fucked up and crossed the line, his children would not let him forget it. Since he portrayed himself as above everyone else, he was expected to act like it. Little things, of course, could be forgiven or brushed off, but he would be held to much higher consequences if he did anything that genuinely upset people. If he had acted more down to earth in his videos, maybe the backlash would have never happened. But he didn't, and this is how things played out. And I'm not trying to say that Butch Hartman fans are all kids who are easily swayed by him, because it's not just kids who looked up to him and felt this way. Maybe this was just as a cash grab, but the entire commentary community thought this was some huge betrayal on his part. And call me whatever you want, but I too was probably a bit manipulated by him as well. I didn't watch his stuff often, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't like his channel. At least a little bit. The clickbaiting was still an issue.
Oh shit!
And I'm not saying those who like it are automatically under his influence, because it's a decent channel, but I still found it hard to criticize him, which can be seen in part 1 of my subscriber channel review, like I said. You know, but I'm surprised this video has gotten so much negative flack, because I've followed Butch Hartman's channel for quite a while now, and I agree with, I mean, again, he said dislike. He didn't say hate. He talks about how Butch Hartman clickbaits, which he does, and there's no reason for him to do it, is kind of the thing. So it's just, I don't know. He's got a good point for a lot of it. In spite of this, I thought it'd be interesting to question Ellis Mark, who had been the first person to actually criticize Butch and get his thoughts. So Mark, you did the first, video on Butch Hartman then. So I'm just curious, did you know exactly, like, did you think something like this would end up happening later on with all this drama? Like, this kind of stuff?
Not something to the scale that it did. Like, I expected his year, but I didn't expect him to be to actively piss off his fans while doing so. I just thought, like, you know, he wouldn't be able to run a streaming service. I never thought he would actively go out and annoy his entire fan base.
Yeah. Did you think that he would have this whole ego thing would be as prominent as? I mean, you kind of had your suspicions.
No, because I didn't think it would be a problem, because it's never been a problem before now. Like, it's only now people are like, oh my god, why does Butch have such a big ego? Like, he's always been like this.
Yeah, and I guess this is the first time that it's been his ego versus his fans, you know?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't, yeah, like, do you think that if he would have, like, because, I mean, I've kind of done in the whole video, the whole point of it is me trying to say, you know, that it's like, because he portrayed himself this way, it was kind of a, like, it was, he kind of portrayed himself as this larger-than-life figure who was superior, and then pretty much no matter if he did something that crossed the line at all, he would get much more backlash. Because, I mean, you know, Mr. Enter started a Kickstarter project that was horrible, and, you know, practically every infamous YouTuber has made fun of fans, and I don't know, I just think that, I mean, then yet they haven't gotten backlash on this scale, just because, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's, but yeah, what, so, do you have any further thoughts, like, that you wanted to add, you know, to the video, knowing what you know now?
To your video? Because I don't know what your video, like you say in your video.
I mean, I'm just meaning in general about the Butch Hartman situation.
I just want everyone to stop making videos on it, and that's kind of hypocritical saying I'm doing this in a video about Butch Hartman.
I mean, to be
but,
fair, you're not
like,
making
it's
the video,
overdone.
I'm the one making the video, so.
Yeah, I guess. But it's just really overdone, and there's like nothing more to say, I don't think. I think everything that can be said was said within the first couple of videos about him. Like, there's no need for people like Pie Guy Rules to make 7 videos like in a week about Butch Hartman. There's no need for it.
I do have an
Especially
end
because
one.
it's not even the worst thing. Like, people have done worse on the
Yeah, and
internet
that's kind of the
got
point
like
of what I'm
less
trying to do.
backlash.
Oh, sorry.
That was me done.
I was just gonna say that's kind of what I'm trying to do with this one, is I'm just trying to say, like, explain why this got so much backlash and so many other equally bad things from other people haven't. And it's just, I think that's just because Butch portrayed himself so highly, and that's
Yeah.
But if you ever made do you think you're ever gonna make a part 2 to your video?
I was going to a year after the upload date of the first one. I was going to do that with all my older videos. I'm not sure about it now because I wanted to talk about the whole Oaxis situation, and just because this is before he said all this. I was going to talk about Oaxis and my thoughts on it because people wanted my thoughts on it. But now that just everyone said what there needs to be said about it, I don't think it's necessary to make, unless within the time he does something equally bad and just no one happens to talk about it, then I'll do another video a year later.
Well, it did get funded, so that's there's probably gonna be. I mean, it's not like this whole thing is gonna quit.
Oh yeah. He's not returning anyone's money.
Yeah. Thank you for coming. For taking the time to talk to me. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Let's just I guess get back to the main video then. After the backlash, Butch posted a half apology, and not much has happened since this. I doubt he genuinely regrets things simply because the way this was phrased, but it's just a matter of opinion. At the end of the day, I think this drama was for the better, since it'll probably be a wake-up call for Butch, and he'll try not to push the boundaries of what he can and can't get away with now that he's seen the true backlash. Whether this will be out of genuine care for his fans or just to keep his career afloat is debatable, but still. At the end of it all, I didn't really feel like I needed to talk about this until I saw how seriously people were taking it. It's not healthy to give Butch a pass simply because he's him, and I think the rest of the internet has learned that. At least for this instance. There will be another larger-than-life celebrity who's able to do the same thing at some point, but let Butch stand as a cautionary tale about the follies of acting superior online and the inevitable pushback you'll receive when people realize you aren't.